Hello, and welcome to the Seed Time Harvest database for the Sinatra CMS project for Learn.co. What this database is a web-based database. I'm running it on a shotgun server right now for local access. In order to get anywhere onto this database, you have to first be logged in. You will get an error message anytime you try to go to another page that you're not logged in for. So we'll go ahead and sign up, create a new user here. Now what this database does is it tracks seeds that you sow, the time that you wait for your harvest, and the harvest that comes back. This is all based on biblical principles of seed time and harvest, where what you sow is what you get. That kind of applies to the golden rule where, treat others as you want to be treated yourself. It applies to finances, it applies to items. Whatever you give, God returns to you magnified. Now that also applies negatively, but all this doesn't differentiate between the two. It only helps you track what you've sown, what you've harvested, so you can keep track of how you're doing in life, I guess. So let's create a new user. We'll just call him user. We'll give him an email of user@email.com and a password of password. Not the most secure way of signing up for anything, but it demonstrates the purposes. Upon signing up, it logs you in automatically and brings you to the main index page here. As you can see, we have nothing in the database right now. Now it's not entirely true. I actually had the database seeded with quite a few different records, but as I'll show you here quickly, you can only view the records that you have created for yourself. You cannot view or edit anyone else's records. So if we log in under a different user, let's go with user 1, which is one of the pre-seeded ones. As you can see, now you can see user 1's records. So this breaks it down into essentially 4 different categories. I know you see 5 columns here. 2 of these columns, seeds sown and seeds yet to sow, actually go to the same place. They're just 2 different halves of it, if you will. So he basically breaks it down into 4 categories. You've got your desires, the things that you are wanting to achieve, wanting to accomplish, wanting to receive. Bible references, this is the key. This is what ties everything together. I'll go more into that in a minute. But this is how everything works. You have to find something. You can't just say, oh, okay, I want a new car, so I'm just going to start giving people money or whatever. No, you have to find the Bible references that actually support what it is you're doing. Otherwise, you're just making stuff up and it's not going to do any good. Seeds, what seeds are, as I said, that's what you sow, what you give to others to bless them, what you give to others to support their ministries, what you give to others just because you love them. And like I said, there are 2 halves to it. There are seeds that you've already sown, and there are seeds that you have yet to sow that you're planning to. Helps you keep track of both of them. And then harvests. Harvests are what it sounds like. That is when your seeds that you've sown and the time you've waited pays off, and you get back more than what you gave. Now, all of these are links. You can click on any of these captions up in the heading in order to go to the general view page for that type of item. So desires takes you to the view page of all the desires. Bible references takes you to the view page of all of the Bible references, etc. And like I said, these are only for the individual user that is currently logged in. You can also click on the individual ones listed in the table to see that one specifically. So we can look at this desire a little bit more closely. As you can see, this one has a name of desire 0, description of description 0. It's tied in with Bible reference 0. The seeds are broken down into targets, items sown, and items yet to sow. So the targets listed under this first seed, we have target 0, which has sown, and you can sow time as well. So this is sown 2 months, 3 weeks, 6 days, 9 hours, and 1 minute into this target. $94.54. and has sown these 4 items. I have yet to sow this amount of time, this amount of money, these 5 items. And then the harvests tied in with this desire, what you've already harvested. You've harvested from this source, source 0. You know, that'd be like, say your neighbor, you know, you gave a bum on the street $50, and then your neighbor 2 weeks later gave you $1,000. You would put your neighbor as the source here. You'd put the amount that you received here, or any items, any time that's given to you. So it's a pretty simple setup. As far as usage goes, like I said, you can click on any of the individuals to see what the individual details of that item are. On any of the show pages, or of the index pages for something, you have a new button that allows you to create a new one. Let's create a new desire here. Let's say I desire a banana plantation. Why not? You could write a short description for it. Bananas are awesome. Hit submit. Excuse me. Now we've got our new desire here, and it's not tied into anything. You see, it has no seeds listed, it has no harvest listed. We can actually add those in if we want. And it does allow you to reuse seeds. It does allow you to reuse desires, but you cannot, or reuse harvest, but you cannot tie them in through desires, seeds, or harvest. The only way to tie everything together is through the Bible references. So we've got our new desire here, banana plantation. Let's say we've created, let's say we've sown some for that. We've given out some bananas. So let's create a new seed. We gave it to a new target. Let's see, we gave it to Chip the Chimp. We didn't give him any amount of time or money, but we gave him a new item. We gave him a banana. We have yet to sow, no time, no money. You know, we're only dealing with bananas on this one, but we do need to give him another banana. So we'll submit that. Now we've got our new source, or our new target for seeding into, Chip the Chimp, still not tied to anything. And we haven't received a harvest from him yet. So let's create a new Bible reference for sowing bananas into Chip the Chimp. I don't have it off the top of my head, so we'll just say it was in banana 1-1, which said bananas sown equals bananas received. Now here in the Bible reference is where we tie everything together, as I said. So the banana plantation is the desire that we're going for. We don't have the seeds or harvest listed yet, so right now let's just submit this. I will correct that issue. So we sewed it into target 0 because for some reason Chip the Chimp isn't showing up, which I will correct as soon as I end this recording. We haven't harvested yet from it. So we set it into it, and you can have as many seeds that you're sowing into or as many harvests that you're receiving from for any given item. There is no limit on that. But now we see our banana plantation has come up with the Bible reference of banana 1-1. We have sown in, since we didn't connect it to Chip the Chimp, we actually connected it to target 0. We've sown in 2 months, 3 weeks, etc. But there you have it. Fairly simple to use. If you log out and log back in with a different user, you'll see we won't see any of that. User 2 has a totally different set of desires, references, seeds, and harvest. Let's say user 2 kind of messed something up here and they decided they didn't want to actually sew all of this into target 1 like they were initially planning. You can go in on the individual items page, you can hit delete. There is always a confirmation page, whether you want to delete it or not. If you hit cancel, it just takes you back to where you were. But if you actually hit delete, then it will no longer show up in the main index or anywhere else. Now you can see that that entire seed is gone. Also, this logout and main button that I have up here at the top, you notice the main button has disappeared. It is still here. If you inspect the page, it is still here in the header. I just set them up to automatically hide anytime you're on certain pages there you don't need it. If you're on the main index, you don't need to link back to the main index. So I hid that one. If you're on the logout screen, the login screen, or the sign up screen, you don't need to be able to go to the logout screen. So I had the button hide there. And when you log out, it does clear the session. So there is no more, now that we're logged out, we can't go back to the index and see what's going on with it. As it says, you must be logged in to view stored data. So there you have it, Seed Time and Harvest database. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you enjoy.